Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist on Integrity doing a Dinosaur deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck just got some amazing support out of Wild Survivors. This deck is a super fun deck to be able to play, and it's going to be one of the best decks this format. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name scratched in a single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This card is an amazing boss monster to put on your side of the field. It's one of the most powerful boss monsters ever created. It has the ability to banish 2 dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard to special summon this card to your side of the field, making it super easy to put on your side of the field. It also has a great Book of Eclipse effect that you can once per turn destroy a monster in your hand or on your side of the field and flip every single monster opponent controls to face down defense position. It can also attack every single monster that your opponent controls, which is a really good effect, and if it attacks a defense position monster, it sends it to the graveyard, and also inflicts 1,000 points of damage to your opponent, which is absolutely crazy. We then play a single copy of Dolgaran. Dolgaran's really good because this card is a searchable kaiju in the deck, making it super easy to deal with your opponent's cards that are unaffected by card effects. So this card is really good as a one-of in the build. We're then playing a single copy of the Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Pankratops is very easy to put on your side of the field, and it's basically the Cyber Dragon of the deck, with a really good ability that you can tribute this card and then target one card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a really good effect for this card to have. We then play 2 copies of Xenometeorus. This card is absolutely crazy. It's one of the cards that we got out of Wild Survivors, and a really amazing card that if a card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during your main phase, you can destroy 1 dinosaur type monster in your hand or on your field, and then special summon out a dinosaur normal monster from your hand or deck. Also, you cannot special monsters for the rest of the turn from the extract except dragon, dinosaur, sea serpent, or worm monsters, which is not that big of a deal, but it's a really insane effect to be able to include some normal monsters in this build. We then play 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. This card is one of the best cards in the entire deck, and it's probably your best starter in the build, because if this card is normal or special summon, you actually get to take a dinosaur type monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can also target one other level 4 lower dinosaur type monster in your on your field and destroy it, and then special summon a dinosaur type monster from your graveyard in defense position, which is a pretty good effect to be able to use with this card. We then play a single copy of Giant Rex. Giant Rex is really good because if this card is banished, you can actually special summon it back to your side of the field once per turn, making this card a great extender. We then play a single copy of Miscellaneousaurus. Have you read Misc? This card is insane. This card is super good as a one-of in the deck because it's currently at 1. If I could play 3, I would definitely play 3. But this card is amazing in this deck because this card gives you so much protection and can actually help you special summon some of your dinosaur type monsters from your deck. We then play 3 copies of Baby Ceresaurus. Baby Ceresaurus is one of the best cards in this particular build to be able to special summon dinosaur type monsters from your deck. Because if this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you special summon out a level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster from your deck. We then play 2 copies of Petite Pterodon. You play this for the exact same reason as your Baby Ceresaurus, that if this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you special summon out a level 4 or higher dinosaur type monster from your deck, but it can't attack, unlike your copy of Baby Ceresaurus. Baby Ceresaurus summons level 4 or lower, Petite Pterodon summons level 4 and higher, which is really cool about these cards. We then play 2 copies of the Orby Dinosaur. This card searches out our copies of our Double Evolution Pill, which is why we play this card as a 2-of in the deck, because it helps you get to those cards extremely easily so you can summon out your copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno directly from the deck, which is just absolutely amazing. We then play the Scrap package in the deck, which is going to be 2 copies of Scrap Raptor, which is just insane. Scrap Raptor is amazing because it is a dinosaur type monster, but it's also a tuner to help you go for some really good plays. It has a great ability that you can target one monster that you control, destroy it. Also, during your main phase this turn, you can normal summon a Scrap monster in addition to your normal summoner set, and if this card is destroyed by effect of a Scrap card, which is going to be destroyed by itself and sent to the graveyard, you get a Scrap Factory or a Scrap non-tuner or Scrap monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect to be able to use because the card you're always going to grab with this card's effect is your copy of Scrap Chimera. Scrap Chimera has a really awesome effect that when this card is normal summoned, you can pick a Scrap tuner monster in your graveyard and special summon it back to your side of the field, and since you're going to get that additional normal summon off your copy of Scrap Raptor, you can actually go for some really good plays with these 2 cards. We then play, for our normal monsters, we're going to be playing a single copy of Frostosaurus, which, yes, we do have the ultimate rare for this. Definitely give us a like. This card is really good. I actually pulled this from a pack a long time ago, which is really amazing. But this card is super good to be able to work with your copy of your Transcend Dinos, which is really good to be able to especially work with your copy of your Xeno. This card is really good as a 1-up in the deck to help you make rank 6 plays. We then play a single copy of Megalo Smasher X. Megalo Smasher just works really well with your copy of Xeno because it can actually be brought out from the deck with the card, which is just really insane. We then play, for the last 3 monsters, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. This could be any 3 hand traps that you want. This could be 3 Nibiru, 3 Droll, 3 Ash, 3 Effect Veiler, whatever you want. You can play in this position. I just really like Ash Blossom because it actually stops your opponent from touching the deck. So this could be literally any hand trap that you want in this 3 position. This is basically a flex spot. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good because it stops your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 2 copies of Lost World. Lost World is a really good field spell that helps out your dinosaur type monsters a lot. It makes your opponent's monsters get smaller because all monsters on the field lose 500 attack and defense except dinosaur type monsters, which is a really good effect. This card also generates tokens, which is pretty cool. We then play 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill. This card is amazing as a 2 in the deck because it's actually going to help you special summon out your copy of your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno directly from your deck, because you banish a dinosaur monster and 1 non-dinosaur type monster from your hand and or graveyard, and then you special summon a level 7 or higher dinosaur monster from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is always usually going to be your copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. We then play 3 copies of Ground Xeno. This is a really powerful card, and one of the cards we got out of Wild Survivors. This card is crazy good. If you resolve this card, you're probably going to win. It has the ability to get to add a dinosaur tuner or a dinosaur null monster from your deck to your hand, then destroy 1 card in your hand, which is going to be one of the copies of the Baby Ceratosaurus or Petite Pterodon that you're always going to pop with this card. You can also banish this card from your graveyard to fusion summon a dinosaur fusion monster from your X deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, which is always going to be your copy of your gigantic Zawile that you're actually going to fusion summon into, being our only target in the X deck. But this card is really good because it adds your copy of Xeno from deck to hand, and then it also pops one of the babies, which is really good to be able to pop Baby Ceratosaurus or Petite Pterodon to be able to then get a special summon of something like an Oviraptor directly from the deck, which is just really insane. I absolutely love this card, and this plus either one of the copy of Petite or the Baby Ceratosaurus just basically equals you 1 if it resolves, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Fossil Dig. Fossil Dig is really insane in this deck because this card is basically the Rhoda for the deck. It lets you add a level 6 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand, which just adds more consistency to the deck. And speaking of consistency, we're also playing 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. This card is just good to be able to dig into the deck, and it's a great 3-up in this particular build. It's super good to be able to just banish 6 from your X deck and then be able to excavate into the deck to get to the exact card you need. The only downside of this card is if you do activate it, your opponent takes half damage for the rest of the turn. But even with dinosaurs, sometimes with how big the dinosaur type monsters are in this deck, you can still OTK and do 16,000 points of damage to be able to OTK the opponent, which is amazing. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with a single copy of Gigantic Zawile. This card is a really awesome card that's actually based on an old school normal dinosaur type monster called Zawile, which is really insane that this card has actually gotten a retrade. But this card is really easy to put on your side of the field because it just takes any dinosaur type monster and a normal monster put on your side of the field, and it comes out at 3,800 attack points, which is really crazy. But this card has the ability, if this card is special summon, you can target a dinosaur monster in the graveyard and add it to your hand. Then if this card was special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy 2 cards, 1 from your hand and 1 from your opponent's side that your opponent controls. And if this card is destroyed, then you can actually shuffle a normal dinosaur monster from your graveyard into the deck, and if you do special summon this card, which is a really insane effect to be able to use with this card, it can actually bring itself back to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur is just really good to be able to put on your side of the field, because this card is a walking negate. We then play a single copy of the Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign. This card is a worm, which is why I'm playing this card in the deck, because Xeno locks you into different types, and worm being one of them makes it very easy to put this card on your side of the field with your copy of Xeno, which is just really, really good. We then play a single copy of Borreload Savage Dragon. Borreload Savage is just really good to be able to put on your side of the field, and a really good boss monster to be able to establish on your field to have a walking negate. We then play a single copy of Sodal. Sodal is insane because we can finally make this card in a pure Dino deck, which is really good, because this card has a great ability. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has XZ materials, and when your opponent special summons a monster, you can detach a material on this card and destroy that monster, which is really good because it's not even a once per turn, so you can actually do this twice because it's going to have 2 materials, which is really insane. We then play a single copy of Lagia. Lagia is just really good because it's basically walking Solemn Judgment, which is really insane. And then we play a single copy of Dolka. Dolka's really good in this deck as well, and I think it's amazing that you can actually play all 3 currently of the different Evil Czar monsters, which is just really cool. I love that about this deck now, that you can play all 3 of them. But this card is great because it's actually a monster negate, which is just absolutely insane. We then play a single copy of Baguska. Baguska is really good in this deck as a one-of, just in case you go first and you want to put Baguska on your side of the field. Really cool thing about Baguska in the deck is it's going to shift your opponent's monsters to defense position, which is really good to be able to do, especially with our copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. We then play a single copy of AA Zeus. AA Zeus is just really good at board wiping the field, and this card is very easy to make on top of any of your Evil Czar monsters or even Baguska. We then play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code's great in the deck as a one-up to be able to pop multiple cards on the field. It's just a really good game-ending card. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa is very easy to put on your side of the field to give you multiple monster negates and is a really awesome card in the deck. We play a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff. 1 copy of Scrap Wyvern. This card is great to be able to work with our scrap package in the deck. 1 copy of Linkuriboh, and then a single copy of Secure Gardna. These are really good to be able to work with your Orby Dinosaur, because you can normal summon out the copy of Orby Dinosaur, activate its ability to be able to search out the copy of the Double Evolution Pill, link it away for Linkuriboh, and link the Linkuriboh away for the Secure Gardna, which will give you a dinosaur and a non-dinosaur in the graveyard, so you can actually activate Double Evolution Pill while also keeping the Secure Gardna on your side of the field, which is pretty good. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Dinosaurs before, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's really an amazing deck, especially with all the new support cards. And it's just really a crazy powerful deck. I really feel like this deck is going to be one of the most powerful decks this format because of all the amazing support that we've gotten for this deck recently. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come by our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.